Hi, I'm Tammy Sevcov, and this is Worth Considering, where we stretch our hearts and our minds as Christians to consider another side of the story and better engage with the world around us. And today I want to talk about the metoo movement as a blessing and a curse. So, the issue with the Me Too movement, to me, has not been that it in itself has been a bad thing at all. However, there has been some complications that have arisen with it that I don't know if we're all thinking about. Now, the blessing of the Me Too movement has been to bring a change of perspective on the issue of sexual misconduct and sexual violations and recognize the problems we've had in our society. And what I want to do is tell you two stories of people I know personally. These are genuine situations that have happened, and I think show kind of the two ends of the spectrum that the Me Too movement is impacting. The first is a dear friend who is a little older than I am, who was molested as a child, probably 10 years old, somewhere in that range, and decided to go to her sister's home, who was a bit older than her and was out of the house by then, and talk to her about what had happened, trying to figure out what to do. And she hadn't told her parents, but she got to her sister's house and the newspaper was out and there had been a rape recently. And her sister just said to her sister, can you believe these women, saying that they've been raped when they've been asking for it? Now, this kind of talk a generation ago was so common. The problem is it's really not fully gone away. Now we might not say it out loud, but we'll still roll our eyes or say, yeah, well, she was quite the party girl, or what do you expect with that kind of behavior? Now, I want to give you an example of something and why I believe this talk is really, really dangerous and really wrong. And not to say that people don't have responsibility for their actions, but let me give you a story. It's a little bit of a picture, if you will. Would you just pretend I have this great home stereo system, this beautiful, all the technology, everything you might want, all in my home, built in a way that is just fantastic. My TV, the whatever other components I would need, because I know so much about do we say home stereos? Is that like a 90s term? Anyway, whatever, home theater, whatever I have set up is really nice and really expensive, okay? But it's in front of my front window. I have my front room right there, and I've got a big window, and I tell people about how expensive it was. I tell people about how I got these specialty parts and this great sound system and how it works. And right there, I decide to go out of town for a little while, leave my curtains open, and I actually ended up leaving my window cracked open, okay? Just follow the story here. When a thief breaks in and steals my equipment, when a thief breaks in and steals all of my home theater, am I to blame for the theft? This is really important because some people would actually say, well, kind of. No, here's the difference. Stealing is never right. It is not the fault of anyone else that somebody stole from you. Even if you had your money sitting out on the table and someone comes over and takes it, that person is the one who is guilty of the crime. You are not responsible for their behavior. It is not okay that somebody would steal from my house, break in, even if I had a window cracked open. That does not make the crime acceptable. This is what we have to change our tone and our talk on. Because even if a woman is walking around behaving completely inappropriately, absolutely being scandalous, she is still not responsible for the fact that somebody raped her. That is never okay. And if we talk like that's part of the problem, in the sense of like men can't help themselves when a woman is scandalous, then we're perpetuating a really imbalanced and really inappropriate narrative. Now, should we as women, learn better behaviors? Yes. Should we talk about having better behaviors? Because if I had closed my window in that story, if I had maybe not told everybody on the block how awesome my whole home theater was, if I had closed my curtains, would it have helped me potentially avoid that theft? Possibly. Because there are still people out there that even if I have the best security system in the world are still going to break in. What I'm saying is that we have to make sure that our talk, our narrative, never makes it okay for someone else to violate someone. We never blame a victim for a violation. But we do create healthy dialogue to help people make wise choices to be safe, to be whole. And this is where I believe the Me Too movement has helped bring out the reality that we are not going to blame victims for behaviors. Maybe we haven't talked so much about the healthy behaviors. I hope we do. And I know I'm going to with people around me. But that's the reality, is that we can't blame victims. Now, another story of another dear, close person to me. Young guy who graduated college recently with a college, with a teaching credential, teaching degree. His whole plan was to teach. After not really pursuing his teaching for a little while, I asked him, like, are you going to go toward teaching, or is that kind of an old dream? And he said, no, I don't think I'm going to. And I asked why. He said, well, I mean, to be honest, and this was right around the Me Too movement coming out in the news. He said, when I was in school, I had, over the years, which I think he was in college for 4 years, over those years, he had 3 different stories told to him about men who were falsely accused of some kind of sexual misconduct with a female student. Now, this is not me saying that never is there actual sexual misconduct from a male to a female student. It's not the issue. The stories that were related to him were specifically ones that were proven false, whether the woman recanted or there was proof in other ways, that it was sometimes used as a technique to get out of a situation, etc. He said, after that, and then with everything that's going on with Me Too, I just feel like I'm in such a dangerous place to be a teacher, because one false accusation, and those guys were all unhireable after that. Like, nobody wanted them, even if once it was proven true, proven false, like proven that their side was true. And he just said, I don't want to go that way. And I thought, how interesting. Here's a guy I know well who was a good heart, good, kind guy, and actually I think would be an excellent teacher. He said, look, the way things are being set up now, there's no chance to recover your credibility once an accusation is made. And I was just so stunned, and I chewed on that for a bit, because I thought, well, gosh, we need people like him, if anybody, in our education system. We need good, healthy people who would be willing to share and teach and teach from the heart. And I realized one of the problems with the Me Too movement, one of the dilemmas that is coming up along with it, I won't say because of it, but along with it, is the basis of the flip that happens. The guilty until proven innocent tone, that now that we're taking women's word more seriously, we therefore automatically convict men. It's a hard thing, because a lot of these things are he said, she said, but you can't ever have an absolute bias to one side or the other. The problem is it used to be toward men, like, well, that's probably not what happened. He's the one in power. Whoever had the power is the person that is believed. And the truth is we can't live like that. At the same time, we have a messed up judicial system at times. And the one thing we have going for us is that we are innocent until proven guilty. And if there's no proof, as much as somebody might be an idiot or a dirtbag, we can't hold crimes against people that we don't know are true. We have to find a way, and I don't have a way, honestly. We have to find a way to make it safe for people to report, for people to bring up issues, for people to stand strong, and for men to be afraid to be accused, in the sense of, you don't want to cross that line, because if you do and it comes out true, you are in trouble. I don't know if it's having recording devices on our phones, I mean, whatever, but I'm saying it needs to be right that if you do this crime, you are absolutely and quickly convicted. At the same time, if you are accused, that you are not slandered and smeared before you have a chance to defend yourself. Somehow we have to find a way to bring balance. And we as Christians need to not be quick to defend someone or quick to accuse someone. We need to be able to walk in love with people and try to come to the right and righteous, just end. Hey, I'd love your thoughts. I know this is a tough topic, and many of us have had experiences when it comes to sexual misconduct that are devastating. When it comes to just dealing with the issue at hand in regards to how we process this, how we deal with this in society, I'd love to hear your feedback. Thanks so much for joining me. Please make your comments below. I'd love for you to like and share, get those notifications, subscribe to the channel to keep up with all the great content we're posting every week.